Hello Sudoku friends. The thumbnail for this video kind of indicates where I am located this winter, but it also lets you dream yourself to a place like this while you solve this evil level Sudoku, because that's how easy it really is. The puzzle is from websudoku.com, and as I mentioned, it's an evil puzzle. You can see its identifier down here, so if you wish, you can pause the video and access this puzzle yourselves and see if you can solve it, and if not, just come back here and enjoy the rest of this video. So I'm going to start off with a 4. There's a 4 here, here, and there's a 4 here, so this 4 kind of places itself, doesn't it? I know that this cell must be a 1 or a 9, and so must this one, because we have only these two cells left in the column after we see the 1 here and the 9 here. So 1 and 9 will not be able to go in these two cells. And that means that they will have to be a 5 and a 7. Since there's a 5 in the row, this cell must be a 7 and this must be a 5. And I want you to pay attention to the 1 and the 2 and the 7 here. And the 1 and the 2 and the 7 here. This constellation forces a 1, 2 and a 7 to go in these 3 cells, leaving a 3, 4 and an 8 for these 3 empty cells. This 1 here occupies this row, of course, and this 1 occupies this column. So a 1 for this box, and therefore for this row, will have to go either here or here. And in combination with this 1 down here, we now know that this cell must be a 1. And in a similar vein, we notice the 5 here and the 5 here. They force a 5 to go in one of these two cells. So a 5 for this center row will have to go in this cell, won't it? These 3 cells now have to be a 3, 6, and a 9. There's a 3 here and a 9 here, so the 6 will go here. And now that we have these 2 6s and we have the 6 up here in row 2, we know that the 6 for this column will have to go here. By the way, I'm noticing that the 6 and the 7 here and the 6 and the 7 here, they will force a 6 and a 7 to occupy 2 of these 3 cells up here. And here's another pattern for you. The 3 and the 7 here, of course, prevent the 3 and the 7 from going in these 2 empty cells in column 9. There's a 3 and a 7 also in this row, so a 3 and a 7 can't go here either. And that leaves only this cell for a 3 and a 7 and this cell for a 3 and a 7. However, we have just established that a 1, 2, and a 7 must occupy these 3 cells, and therefore this cell can not be a 3, it must be a 7, and this cell up here must be a 3. And the 3 here and here, of course, gives us this 3 for column 2, like so. And we can complete the 7s for this right chute, like the 7 here and the 7 here, and the 7, of course, forces a 7 in this cell. And as we remember from earlier, we also need a 6 in one of these 3 cells, and this is now the only cell left where we can put a 6. The 6 down here and the 6 here puts a 6 in this cell, like so, and therefore also in this cell. We can place a 5 in this cell here, because we need a 5 for the top row, of course, and the 5 here prevents the 5 from going here, and we have a 5 down here and here that can see the other cells, so the 5, of course, must go here. I notice that the 3 and the 4 here and the 3 and the 4 here force a 3 and a 4 in these 2 cells. These 2 cells now will have to be a 9 and an 8, and since we have a 9 already that can see this cell, this now becomes an 8 and this one a 9. So these 2 being a 3 and a 4 in some combination, we still need to find a 6, 8 and a 9 to complete the column. There's an 8 here, so the only place that we can actually enter an 8 is in this cell. We now have a 1 and a 9 pair in these two cells. Since there's a 9 here, this cell of course must be a 1, and the 9 goes here, and the corresponding 1 will have to go here. The 1 here and here puts a 1 in this cell because of the 1 here. And there is a 1 to be entered here, of course, as the last remaining digit. And it's obvious from this 8 and this 8 that this cell must be an 8, right? And we need a 3 and a 4 for this cell, and for this cell, and also for this cell. So if these three cells are 1, 2, and a 7, these two cells will have to be a 3 and a 4. And with a ghost 4 in these cells and a 4 up here, we can now place a 4 in this cell. And in combination with the 4 here and the 1 in the top row, a 4 will have to go here as well. And we can place the second to last, third last 4, I think, because of the 4 here and here. This cell becomes a 4, and this one now must be a 2. So the 2 here and the 2 here and the 2 up here gives us this 2, and the last digit here will now be a 7. And with this 7, we can place the 7 in this cell, like so. We know that these two will have to be a 3 and a 9, and therefore this cell must be an 8. And with this 8, we can place an 8 here, and now one of these two cells will have to be an 8. With only two cells left in this 3 by 3 box, and they have to be a 5 and a 9, we know that the 9 can't go here because of this 9, so the 5 goes here and the 9 here. And we need a 5 also for this column. There's a 5 that cannot go here because of the 5 here, so it must go here. And the last digit now is a 1, and we know from earlier research that this now becomes a 2. And the 2 here and here gives us this 2 up here in column 9, and now we just need a 1 and an 8 for these two cells. There's an 8, there's a 1 in this cell, therefore the 1 must go here and the 8 here. The 8 here and here and here force an 8 in this cell, and the last digit remaining here is a 6. And the 6 here and here, of course, gives us a 6 for column 1, and the last digit is a 9. It goes here. And because of this 9, we now know that this cell must be a 9, and therefore a 5 will go here. Still, these two are 3 and a 9. We now have the 9 in this column, so the 3 goes here and the 9 here. And that gives us a 3, of course, for the bottom row, like so. And this is now a 4, and this 3, and this must be a 2. Now the 3 and the 4 have been resolved because of the 4 here. This is a 3, and this is a 4. And that is how you solve this kind of an evil puzzle. It's not always very difficult, is it? So the hammock picture in the thumbnail, I think, is a nice fit for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, would you please subscribe and perhaps even give it a thumbs up? It will help the Google algorithm to find a wider audience that might also find it interesting to solve Sudokus without using pencil marks. Anyway, thanks for watching, and bye for now.